Paula, tell me, if some people who have never been to your store before, what kinds of things do they see in the squirrel store?
My tagline sums it up: a little bit nutty, art, colourful things. So yeah, that sums it up for me. There's no particular era, no particular style. It's just kind of really what appeals to me. And Mike, Mr. Squirrel.
And you kind of, as you were saying, you sometimes, not always, but a lot of the time you refresh the piece.
Yeah, and I always say it's refresh because it's never restore. Restoring is a definite art, and it's not something we do. We give it a new life, and maybe a new life that means it might fit into a modern home, a country home, and move it on to a newer generation, as opposed to, say, being stuck in the era that it's come from.
Exactly. So, you were born into the world, and then you became this brilliant person. How did that happen? What brought you to here?
I guess as a kid, I was always drawing a lot, and Dad took the time to kind of work through with me and work out what a graphic designer was. I think I might have been happy being an artist. Graphic design was where it landed, but I was also really interested in museums, and while I was at school, Bristol's got a pretty large museum. I did community service one afternoon a week, helping out at the museum, working with the curator of Oriental Arts. Then I did a degree in graphic design in Birmingham. And then I actually was fortunate enough to I did a master's degree in graphic design as well at Central St Martin's, and that was my ticket to being in London and being able to get a job in a design agency in Covent Garden. That was my first job, which was actually scary for the first month. I went home and cried every night, and after that I enjoyed it.
So Paula, this is called Conversation Piece because we always like to talk about a particular piece, and you happen to be sitting right next to the piece we're talking about, this lovely wardrobe.
It's just something that I really wanted to try, and I just had to draw a line in the sand and go, right, I'm going to do this now.
You've got some of the design ideas in your hand.
Yeah, well, the design I have worked out in my head. I needed it just for the geometry to work out exactly with the door how many diamonds were going to look best, and then to do the maths to work out how to draw it up, which is not that difficult, and I was able to plan it out in one of my design programs. And then again, I kind of visualised in my head that I wanted the grey top and bottom, but I did this as much for the person that's working with me that was doing a lot of the painting, that wasn't convinced necessarily to begin with that grey, he probably maybe still isn't, that grey top and bottom was the way to go. But it was also as well, when I'd done it, I had drawn up this, which I normally don't do this, but I did for this one. I was like, yeah, I'm convinced by this now, this is the way to go.
So imagine I'm someone, I've got a brand new house, let's say, and I want to fill it with something that has, I suppose, a story, a bit of character and stuff. Where do you think I should sort of start from your perspective?
Well, you probably would start with, maybe if you're filling it, what's the room that you'd like to start with first? What kind of wood colour, or do you like natural wood? Do you like deep varnished wood? What are your favourite colours? How do you feel about mixing and creating a really eclectic feel, or Are you after something, a really calming palette? And work through it like that. And probably have a mood board.
Yeah.
I'm Paula from the Squirrel Store, and you've been watching Conversation Piece.